If you're new in the Philippines, one of the first culture shock you're going to experience is not the heat, not the traffic, not even the food, it's the noise. Everything here is loud. The streets are loud, the malls are loud, the restaurants are loud, even the people are actually loud. And if you come from countries like Switzerland, Germany, Canada, Japan, Scandinavia, even parts of the US, your brain can literally feel stress from all of the stimulation. But here's the weirdest part. Most Filipinos don't seem bothered by it at all. They can sleep through karaoke, roosters, barking dogs, construction, motorcycles, like it's just a white noise. So today, let's talk about the noise culture of the Philippines, why it exists, why foreigners struggle with it, and why Filipinos barely notice it anymore. So when foreigners first arrive in the Philippines, they expect paradise, beautiful beaches, friendly people, cheap living. But nobody warns you that the Philippines can be one of the most overstimulating countries in the world. You wake up to roosters, then motorcycles with modified exhausts, then karaoke at 10 a.m., then somebody yelling across the street instead of texting, then dogs barking, then a basketball game with speakers louder than a nightclub, and somehow nobody's complaining. In many Western countries, noise is considered disrespectful. People value personal space, quietness, privacy. In some countries, your neighbors will complain if your washing machine is too loud at night. But in the Philippines, life happens out loud. The Philippines is extremely social. This is probably the biggest reason. Filipino culture is deeply communal. People are always around family, neighbors, cousins, friends. The culture is very external, and life happens outside the house. So you'll notice people sitting outside, talking outside, eating outside, kids playing outside. And in many Western countries, people go inside and close the door. In the Philippines, the neighborhood almost feels like one giant shared living room. So naturally, it becomes noisy. Another reason is the physical environment. Many Filipinos live very close to each other. Houses are packed tightly together. Thin walls, open windows, no sound insulation. So even normal life becomes everybody's business. You can almost hear your neighbor's thoughts while you are inside your own house. So if one person sings karaoke, the entire barangay is attending the concert. And if you know the song, you end up singing along while doing your thing at home. This one is very important. In many countries, silence equals peace. But in the Philippines, silence can actually feel uncomfortable. Noise here often represents life, celebration, family, community, energy. If a place is noisy, it usually means people are enjoying themselves. And culturally, Filipinos are very tolerant of other people's enjoyment or noise. That's why karaoke is everywhere, even if the singing is terrible. People just let others enjoy themselves. And this is the fascinating part. Foreigners often ask, how are Filipinos not mentally exhausted from all this noise? And honestly, most Filipinos grew up with it. The brain adapts. If you grow up hearing roosters, tricycle, karaoke, fiestas, barking dogs, vendors shouting all the time, every day, the whole day, your nervous system starts treating it as background noise. But for foreigners who grew up in quiet countries, your brains are not trained for this level of stimulation. So when you move here, your nervous system stays on high alert. That's why many of you feel mentally tired after a few weeks in the Philippines. Not because Filipinos are stressful, but because the sensory environment is completely different. So in some countries, you hear almost nothing at night. No barking dogs, no noisy motorcycles, no random karaoke battle at midnight. So when you come here, it can feel chaotic. But to many Filipinos, it feels normal. It's just how it is. Comforting even. Karaoke, the national sound of the Philippines. Birthdays, karaoke. Funeral, yes, karaoke. Random Tuesday, karaoke. And yes, sometimes until 2 a.m. or the whole evening. Second, roosters. You don't need an alarm clock in the Philippines. The rooster already has the job. But here's the thing, even I sometimes don't expect. These roosters don't only crow in the morning. I've heard roosters crowing at 11 p.m., midnight, sometimes randomly in the middle of the night. And honestly, even I, like I said, still get shocked sometimes. Modified motorcycles are the worst. This one, personally, I hate. Some motorcycles here sound like they're entering Formula One. And usually they pass by exactly when you're falling asleep. They don't feel ashamed at all with the disturbance that they're causing. And honestly, the noise is not only outside, it's everywhere. Restaurants, cafes, grocery stores, malls, even places that are supposed to feel relaxing. Sometimes I feel like establishments here are afraid of silence. You walk into a cafe hoping for a peaceful conversation with your friend, but the music is blasting so loud you need to shout at your friend across the table. And then inside malls, it becomes next level because the mall itself already has a loud music playing, right? So inside the mall, every cafe has its own music. Every restaurant has its own music. Every store sometimes has its own speaker. So your brain is hearing three or four different soundtracks at the same time. The music are like answering each other. They're like talking to each other. It's honestly crazy. And grocery stores are sometimes the loud music early in the morning, promotion blasting on speakers, employees making announcements. So, for foreigners coming from quiet countries, this amount of stimulation can feel mentally exhausting. But for us Filipinos, we just continue eating peacefully like nothing is happening. But honestly, after you live here long enough, you start understanding something deeper. The noise is connected to warmth, to community, the human connection. In many quiet countries, yes, it's peaceful, but sometimes people feel isolated and lonely, right? In the Philippines, you rarely feel alone. Sometimes you wish you were alone, but there's always life around you. And for many Filipinos, that feels emotionally comforting. So, if you're planning to live in the Philippines, understand this early. You are not moving into a quiet culture. You are moving into a living culture, a very social, expressive, emotional, energetic culture. And if you fight the noise every single day, you'll become miserable. But if you slowly adapt, you may eventually stop hearing it. And one day, you'll go back to your home country and the silence might actually feel strange. What do you think? Could you live with the noise in the Philippines? Comment below and I'll see you again in the next one. My friends and I recently had a fight. But not that kind of fight you're thinking about. In the Philippines, we call this a budol fight, a big shared meal where everybody eats together with their hands. And honestly, it perfectly represents Filipino culture. It's loud, it's chaotic, there's karaoke on one side, somebody shouting on the other side, kids running around, laughing, making noise everywhere. But somehow, that noise feels alive. It feels warm. Because moments like this are not really about the food. They're about togetherness, about camaraderie, about feeling close to the people around you. And maybe that's why Filipino don't mind the noise so much. Because behind all the noise, there's usually connection.